Hey everyone, Aesop's here. Shibarium just launched and it is massive. However, there's some critical things that you need to know. All right, let's dive into what's been happening with the launch of Shibarium and what Shytoshi actually just said. Let's dive into this. So on Twitter, Shytoshi just a couple hours ago ended up linking to this article, which you can actually check out right here. Now, this article includes a lot of really interesting information. There's a few highlights that I want to talk to you guys about. First of all, there was absolutely insane traffic on the website or through this process of the Shibarium launch that actually caused websites, exchanges, and other things to actually crash. Now, they actually give some hard stats, which I find very fascinating to see, against some concrete information. That way, it's not just some abstract, hey, we're having problems, don't worry about it, guys, we're going to get it resolved. Not this abstractness. Instead, we actually have some concrete examples. So here's an example right here. They use a platform called Alchemy, where they're actually allowed to have 400 million compute units a month. Now, basically, this is basically like requests, things like that. We can think about it in that simple terms. Well, what's important to understand, they had 400 for a month. What happened is that at launch, they experienced 160 plus million different compute units in approximately 30 minutes. This means that in about 2 hours, they basically would have been hitting their limits for what they could have handled based on their monthly allocations, which meant on a daily basis, they'd actually be reaching billions of compute units every single day, which apparently is actually on par with some of the most active L2 blockchains that exist out there. Probably things like Polygon and those different ones that get a ton of volume. Some other really interesting stats is how much money actually got sent over to the Shibarium network right off of launch. So apparently about 1,000 Ethereum, which is basically $1.7 million, plus about 600,000 Bone, which is worth probably about another million, something like that, dollars, end up being deposited into the new chain in approximately just about 15 minutes. So about 15 minutes, over $2 million worth of value ended up being deposited into the Shibarium network, which is absolutely massive amount of value that ended up going into the Shibarium network. And they expected a lot of support from the SHIB army, of course, but they didn't expect the SHIB army to come out this strong about the Shibarium network. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be this hyped either. At initial launch, I figured, you know what, there's not a lot going on yet. There's going to be more coming later, and I'll discuss that in future videos. So make sure you guys subscribe down below. But I figured, okay, at launch, there's not a ton that's going on. There's going to be some excitement, but it's not going to be that crazy. I did not expect this to be happening. And then this post goes on to basically say, please be patient with them as they try and prepare for the scaling, because they expected a lot of support and stuff like that, but not this amount. So hopefully we can expect to see this actually be resolved in the coming weeks, hopefully not having to go into the months, but maybe in the next, I'd say 1 to 3 weeks, something like that. Hopefully we could see a lot of these scaling issues resolved and people can continue their excitement for the Shibarium network. Now, of course, this caused some issues with Shiba Inu. You guys can see that right now, Shiba Inu is taking a pretty massive hit, down currently almost 10% on the day, some massive decline in value for Shiba Inu. And this is coming a lot because people had high expectations. You can see when we go out to a 7-day, it looks even worse. We had price peak up here at basically about the 1112 level, and it now is down at about 8.6. So we've declined pretty significantly since then. But a big problem that we had is a lot of people were really anticipating this. There was a lot of excitement, buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event going on, combined with these issues that we end up seeing with the launch of the Shibarium network, caused some fear. And so you had people who were buying the rumor, selling the news, but you also had people that became very afraid once we started to see some issues. There's actually a great article that we're going to dive into that outlines some of these launch hiccups that they ended up having. Now, this article starts by highlighting the fact that we just had unprecedented levels and unanticipated strength coming from the Shiba Inu community. Obviously, again, they expected support to come in, but they didn't expect this level of support, this level of volume to try and come to the Shibarium network. So this article highlights how SHIB actually plunged about -9%. Again, that's about what we're seeing at right now, in a move that was triggered by market concern over apparent bridge issues. We're going to talk about that in more detail here in just a second. And spoiler alert, there's a lot of actually fake photos circulating that we need to be aware of. You guys need to be aware of, because this is so critical. This fake information out there that's causing a lot of FUD. So what ended up happening is transactions on the network froze. So it ended up being a freeze. Things were not really going through the bridge. And at the point, there was nearly 954 Ethereum, and basically they're saying $750,000 worth of Bone at that time stuck in limbo. And this caused people to end up circulating around this fake image where in theory it was Satoshi saying we effed up hard, we can't recover the ETH that was bridged. This is actually fake. This has been proven to be fake. Satoshi said that this is fake, this was not accurate, and that the funds are not lost in theory, and that they can actually recover those and have those be integrated into the Shibarium network. Things are just frozen for the time being. So it's not like the money is just totally gone and it's never coming back. It does not seem like that's what's actually happening. But that's what this photo, this FUD circulated around, started making people think that, wait, this money is entirely gone. Millions of dollars has been lost. Panic ensued, all that. That's not accurate. And so it's not like the money is gone. Satoshi debunked that and actually says that the cause of the problem is the massive flux of transactions going into the Shibarium network that they were not anticipating, they were not prepared for. That's really the problem here. It's not that this money is just gone or anything like that. The money is going to be recoverable. And what's even more amazing is the volume was so intense that they anticipated some massive volume. And what they did is they included a validator set to auto scale. So basically they set it up and in simple terms, they basically set it up in a way that would be able to scale with increased volume. However, there's a limit to that. So maybe you can go on a sliding scale from, let's say, really easy example here, 100 to 1,000 transactions on a validator. Let's say there's an easy example here. In reality, basically what happened is the equivalent of it coming in with 100,000 transactions. So you might be ready to handle anywhere from 100 to 1,000, but then you get 100,000, you just can't process that. So they anticipated that they needed some scaling growth to happen here. They just did not anticipate how much would actually come through with the volume. So what does all of this mean for the future of Shibarium? I think there are a few key things that we need to acknowledge here. First of all, people clearly care about Shibarium. There was so much money, over $2 million, that tried to go into Shibarium in such a short time period, as well as so many requests, so many people flooding their servers with requests that they would have gone through billions of transactions or billion of requests every single day. This is absolutely massive. This put them in theory as one of the top layer 2 blockchains out there. So while there might be some problems right now, right, there's obviously these technical difficulties, there's going to be some scaling issues that go on here. I think Shibarium is actually going to be a massive ecosystem. It's going to provide so much value to both Shiba Inu, Bone, and any other cryptocurrencies that are on the Shibarium ecosystem as we go forward. So while things are tough right now, I think it's important to acknowledge that in the future here, we're going to see some amazing things for Shibarium, hopefully very soon. Now, this might take a week or two, and we need to have some patience as we go through these upgrades, as we start to scale up, as we go through this process. However, hopefully very soon, we can actually see very exciting news for Shibarium. We'll be able to see more and more different dApps and cryptocurrencies and just ecosystems, different values combined with Shibarium, combined with the Shiba Inu ecosystem to create more and more value. So I'm really excited to see how Shibarium plans out over the coming weeks, what's going to happen here. Just all of this is super exciting to me. So again, while we have some difficult time right now, I think as we look towards the future, we look weeks or months into the future here, there's a ton of value to be had. And I think that, yes, while the price has declined here recently, we are seeing some fear that's happening. I'm personally looking at this as a buying opportunity. Now, of course, you need to make your own decisions, do what's best for yourself. This is not financial advice. I'm just stating for me, for myself, I'm looking at this as a potential great buying opportunity, because as I look towards the future, when we get these problems fixed, we'll probably still have significant volume. We'll probably still have significant interest in this ecosystem. And I think that can provide long-term value here. So that's something I'm looking forward to. If you guys really appreciated this video, make sure you subscribe down below, hit the notification bell so you get notified as soon as videos just like this one go live, and I'll catch you all in the next one.